Today I'm cozy in the forest and I feel like I have to whisper because it's so quiet. But I got my microphone very close, so I hope you can hear me. This year my thoughts were very much revolving around the belongings that I accumulated during the past years and decades of my life. Basically everything that I ever bought and kept. And I noticed one pattern that I learned in my childhood, of course, at home, but that I kept doing even until now, and that is that I always keep stock. Like I'm constantly restocking. I used to keep several items that are basically the same, just in case that something breaks, And of course, I now understand that this has to do with trying to feel safe and control your life, basically. I'm pretty sure the past couple of years we all remember, and many people might have gotten even into this restocking pattern and cycle more during that time because we are all afraid that toilet paper goes out and whatever. So it is a good thing to stock up, to, basically prepare. But at some point, it can also get you into stagnation and feeling stuck. So instead of restocking, you are basically putting yourself into a situation where you are stuck with your life, because when you purchase the same items, when you have a huge stock of whatever it is, cosmetics, household items, or whatever, you of course need to use them as long as you have them. So you are not flexible to change anything. So it less appears to your mind that you could actually live in a different way, use different equipment, use less maybe. So I think part of why we and I might feel stuck is really the constant patterns that we choose to keep. Not the patterns that are natural to us, but the patterns that we continue, that we keep running on autopilot because we are used to it, we think it's safe, it keeps us in control over our life. But there's another thing. So once you realize that this is a pattern that actually keeps you stuck, you, of course, try to think about what could be another way of living. So I'm not the person who tries to, in a way not to prepare. I always like to prepare and to basically use my resources well and not to waste anything. But I think that the point that I didn't see back in the day was that there's actually a lack of trust in life, a lack of the flow of life, and that life can actually feed you in a way. I'm now in nature and, I love to be here, and it reminds me so often that nature just provides for everything and everybody. And we are part of nature, we are part of this ecosystem of planet Earth, and the force of life actually is running through everything in this world. So why is it so hard for us to trust that earth will provide, that life will provide for you. Why do we constantly try to take everything into our own hands and to keep everything under our control? Because that's an illusion. We never actually are in control of anything. So it's it's really hard to learn to go with the flow of life, to trust that life will guide you to the right places at the right time, that you will have enough of food, enough of anything that you ever need. I don't say that we shouldn't prepare, but for me, I really see this pattern of this constant trying to make sure that I will survive. And of course, it also has to do with how much you feel you have a backup. If you have a large, family and friends nearby and people you can borrow stuff and, people who help you out, that's very different if compared to if you live alone. And also, if you have a huge bank account, it's always easy for you to think that you can buy things that you need when you need them. You don't need to seek for a good offer somewhere and to stock up on the good offers, because you are not able to buy the items you need when they are in the normal price. So it's just the thing I've noticed, how much this pattern and this feeling of having to survive in a way has kept me stuck and repeating the same patterns. So this year I consciously decided that I will get rid of the things that I don't need and going more minimalist. But basically it's all about living with what you actually need and letting go what you don't need. For example, I just realized a couple of days ago that I kept light bulbs for which I even don't have lamps anymore. So I had a huge box with the light bulbs, and I was just, thinking that over all the years, that you might use them, but what is the purpose of keeping stuff that you really can't use? Just think about it. And of course, it's easy to say that you can always buy a light bulb if you need one. You don't need to keep spare parts, but I think it's good to keep maybe 2 or 3 for the lamps that you actually have. But, an entire box of all kinds of light bulbs, it's insane. But that's one really clear situation that showed me that I have really too much stuff. And holding on to routines, that's another thing. Why do we need routines? Routines are good, but at a certain point it becomes a prison. So this is one observation that I made this year. The balance. It's all about the balance, I think. So I want to cultivate more trust in life and live with the things that I have, that I need, but not getting back to this pattern of restocking, because I think I need to control everything. And basically, I don't know if it's possible, but if you can learn to feel safe, that would be something to work on.